The moment the U.S. Army hinted that the Abrams would evolve once again, defense analysts around the world started paying attention. Now, with the reveal of the M1E3, it's clear that this is not just another upgrade, it's a fundamental rethink of what a main battle tank needs to be in the modern and future battlefield. The Abrams has dominated for decades, from the deserts of the Middle East to NATO exercises in Europe, but warfare has changed. Drones hunt armor from above, precision-guided munitions strike from beyond visual range, and logistics have become just as critical as firepower. The M1E3 is the Army's answer to all of that. At first glance, the philosophy behind the M1E3 is strikingly different from earlier Abrams variants. Instead of simply adding more armor, more electronics, and more weight, the U.S. Army is focusing on balance. Survivability, lethality, mobility, and sustainment are being redesigned together, rather than upgraded in isolation. The goal is clear: create a tank that can survive in a battlefield saturated with sensors, drones, and long-range weapons, while being easier to deploy, easier to maintain, and more adaptable to future technology. One of the most talked about aspects of the M1E3 is weight reduction. The Abrams family has long been criticized for its massive weight, which limits strategic mobility and puts heavy strain on logistics. With the M1E3, the Army is actively trying to reduce overall mass without sacrificing protection. This doesn't mean thinner armor, it means smarter armor. Advanced composite materials, next-generation modular armor packages, and improved internal layout allow protection to be concentrated where it matters most. By rethinking the design from the ground up, engineers can remove inefficiencies that accumulated over decades of incremental upgrades. Survivability is no longer just about passive armor. The M1E3 is being designed from the start to integrate active protection systems as a core feature rather than an add-on. These systems detect incoming anti-tank missiles or rockets and intercept them before impact. In an era where top attack munitions and loitering drones pose a constant threat, this layered defense approach is essential. Combined with improved electronic warfare capabilities, the tank can disrupt enemy targeting systems, reducing the chance of being hit in the first place. Firepower remains a defining feature of the Abrams lineage, and the M1E3 is no exception. While details are still emerging, the Army has made it clear that lethality is being enhanced not just through the main gun, but through the entire combat system. The main cannon is expected to support advanced ammunition types, including next-generation kinetic energy rounds and programmable multipurpose munitions. These allow the tank to engage a wider range of targets, from heavily armored vehicles to fortified positions and even low-flying drones. Equally important is how the tank finds and engages targets. The M1E3 is designed to operate as part of a networked battlefield. Advanced sensors, improved thermal imaging, and AI-assisted target recognition help crews identify threats faster and at greater distances. This information is shared across units, allowing tanks, infantry, drones, and command elements to work as a single system. In modern warfare, the tank that sees first often wins, and the M1E3 is built around that principle. Mobility is another area where the M1E3 represents a major shift. The Abrams has always been powerful, but that power came at the cost of fuel consumption and maintenance complexity. The new design places a strong emphasis on efficiency and reliability. While the exact propulsion system has not been fully detailed, the Army is exploring improved power generation, potentially including hybrid elements. The aim is to reduce fuel demand, extend operational range, and provide more onboard electrical power for sensors, defensive systems, and future upgrades. This focus on power generation is critical because modern tanks are no longer just guns on tracks. They are mobile data centers, packed with electronics that demand consistent and reliable energy. By designing the M1E3 with growth capacity in mind, the Army ensures that new systems, whether they are advanced sensors, counter-drone tools, or directed energy weapons, can be integrated without major redesigns. Crew efficiency and survivability are also central to the M1E3 concept. Lessons learned from recent conflicts show that reducing crew workload and improving situational awareness can be just as important as armor thickness. Improved automation, better displays, and more intuitive controls allow the crew to focus on fighting rather than managing systems. At the same time, internal layout improvements enhance protection against internal explosions and spall, increasing the chances of crew survival even if the tank is hit. Another key aspect of the M1E3 is sustainment. For decades, the Abrams has been a logistical challenge, especially in expeditionary operations. The Army has clearly recognized that a tank is only effective if it can be kept running in real-world conditions. The M1E3 is being designed with maintainability as a priority. Easier access to components, improved diagnostics, and modular subsystems mean faster repairs and less downtime. This directly translates to higher readiness rates and lower long-term costs. Strategically, the M1E3 fits into the Army's broader vision of future warfare. Rather than replacing tanks with lighter vehicles or unmanned systems, the Army is reaffirming the importance of heavy armor, while adapting it to modern realities. The M1E3 is meant to operate alongside unmanned platforms, reconnaissance drones, and long-range fires, acting as a decisive force that can seize and hold ground when needed. It's also important to understand what the M1E3 represents symbolically. For allies, it signals that the United States is committed to maintaining technological superiority in armored warfare. For potential adversaries, it sends a message that the Abrams is not becoming obsolete, it's evolving. The combination of reduced weight, enhanced protection, networked combat capability, and future growth potential makes the M1E3 a platform designed not just for today, but for decades to come. Of course, the reveal of the M1E3 also raises questions. How quickly will it move from concept to fielded units? How will it compare to other next-generation tanks being developed around the world? And how will cost considerations shape its final configuration? These are valid questions, and the answers will emerge over time as the program progresses. What is already clear, however, is that the M1E3 is not a simple upgrade. It's a deliberate reset of the Abrams philosophy, informed by modern threats and future expectations. By focusing on integration rather than accumulation, the U.S. Army is trying to avoid the pitfalls of endlessly adding new systems to an aging design. Instead, the M1E3 aims to be a flexible, adaptable platform that can evolve as technology and warfare continue to change. In the end, the M1E3 represents a bridge between the proven dominance of the Abrams and the uncertain demands of future battlefields. It acknowledges that tanks still matter, but only if they adapt. With smarter protection, enhanced lethality, improved mobility, and a clear focus on sustainment, the M1E3 is shaping up to be one of the most important armored developments of the coming years. As more details are revealed, one thing is certain: the Abrams story is far from over, and the M1E3 is writing its next chapter.